Okay, we are going to replace some sticky keys or fix some sticky keys on a Yamaha Clavinova model CVP 96. It's 15 years old and some of the keys are starting to stick and it has become unplayable. Back there are three screws hidden behind these little black plastic caps. You see one there and then one on the far side. Those all need to come off. They come off, they're about hand tight. They can just come off with a flat or Phillips head screwdriver. Alright, next up what we're going to do is take the top off. So we got the three screws off, and then what we're going to do is actually push this top board forward, and it comes off. You can see that thing can come out, so we'll remove that. Alright, once the top wooden piece is off, you then have the cover that can flap up, and these little springs also attached to that. I'd already opened it and it flapped those up, but now you have access to the top of the electronics. Okay, then you have 7 screws that come out. You have one here, here you can see some that I took out. There. Oh, 6, and then another on the edge. And once you get that, it starts to come up. We'll get the other one pulled and then expose the top of the keys. Just kidding about the 7 screws. There are actually 9. Neglected to pull these 2 here on the disk drive. From there, you can just lift up the display and all the buttons and out of the disk drive, and then you have access to the tops of the keys. Next step is to enable the keys to freely move forward. To take them off, they need to move forward. So what needs to be done is to remove all of the screws along the back. There'll be some gold ones all along the back, but there'll also be some little black ones deeper down in there. Looks like about 3 of them. And then once those are taken off and it really frees this up, you can pick up the keys. What you have to do then is to unscrew the screw back here by the power button, and then also on the other side there's the same thing. So I've already taken the screw off. Once that screw comes off, you'll be able to take this up by pulling it back, up and back, and it pops off like that. You can see that it grabs the underside of the front edge, and that's how it clips on. From there, you need to walk the keyboard back to provide the clearance. You can see I can just push it right back up against the brackets back there, and that provides a gap where the keys can move forward for removal. Okay, so the problem I had was sticking keys. They were moving together with the key adjacent to it. So you can see that I pulled a few of these keys, and I'll get to how to do that. But I basically had some buildup. Looks like some sort of candy or something. I don't know how a kid eats a candy while playing the piano, but it must be when they're not playing the piano, hopefully. Anyway, it's getting down between the keys and they're moving together. So the way that these are removed is you can just take a regular butter knife, and you can see that there's a little arrow at the top of each key. You're just going to press that down. It's going to push in a spring, and then it enables you to push it forward, and then you just rock it out of the front part, and that's about it. So I'm going to have my work cut out for me in terms of cleaning these, but I don't see anything broken, and of those that I've cleaned up, they're working back how they should, so looks better than I thought. So in the course of pulling and replacing the keys, I found that there's a way you can put them back in that looks like they're actually placed right, but they really aren't. So if you look at some of these, I'm wiggling back, end to end, and they're not moving. But this one I can shimmy around a little bit. Otherwise, it plays. It looks like it plays okay, but it's actually wobbling loosely, and so you can just pop that one back out. And what you want to do when you place these back in is make sure you have pressure toward the back and then push it down. That way it stays nice and tight. And so on the black keys, those pop out, just pull them toward you. And then the same thing when you go to put them in, just apply some pressure that way, and then make sure that they're in and not popping out. That'll make a big difference. I found that I went through and cleaned all these keys and went back and found that several of them were still loose but looked like they were right. So it would have required me to undo everything once we got farther down the road. Okay, so I went through and cleaned up all the keys and made sure all the action was working right. There's one more thing that I'd like to show you that I ran into in swapping out some of these keys, and it's what can happen with the springs underneath the keys. So if I pop this one out, you can see these little springs down here. These guys down here. What can happen in the course of jostling the key around is that this spring, if you can get a close-up down there, the spring is sitting like this on top of it. It'll never sit, the key will never get down into place and be tight the way it needs to be if your spring is sitting on top this way. So what you have to do is push it back in. It'll start to bend down, and then it'll go underneath. You can see it went underneath this tab, and now it's secure again, so it's not loose. That will enable you to then replace the key back the way, not that way. That means I didn't have the front end. There. So that way you can get the key nice and tight the way it's supposed to be.
Sorry about that.
Alright, after that it's pretty much just replacing all the screws and plugging the piano in and getting going again. Thanks for watching. Alright, so when you go to put this electronics panel, this one right here, back on, it's going to be kind of a tedious task to make sure there are 3 clips on the inside that are on the underside where a felt covered slot has to meet up with the bracket, and so you'll want to take a look from underneath, maybe have somebody help you by shining a light, and make sure that as you slide this compartment down that the clips match up. That way you'll have it nice and secure once you're done, and then once you throw in the screws along the top again, it'll firm up and be solid again.